And here's BBC Essex, I'm Sadie 9, and we're taking your calls 0800 111 40 41. Kicking off with just a quick glance at the front pages this morning, we'll tell you there's pressure building on the government to force tech companies to do more to protect your children online. The Minister for Suicide Prevention, Jackie Doyle-Price, who's also, of course, MP for Thurrock, is set to tell a conference today that the government's prepared to legislate if sites don't act. Research from the Royal Society of Public Health says that almost 40% of girls who spend more than 5 hours a day on social media show symptoms of depression. It comes as Facebook turns 15 years old this week, 15. And with its 2.3 billion users around the world, including a lot of you, that's incredible, isn't it? Let me know what you use your Facebook for, other than following my page, of course, which I love you doing. Or have you decided to avoid it altogether? How do you use Facebook? 0800 111 40 41. Now, on the line is Jon Morter from South Woodham Ferrers, a renowned Facebook campaigner, joins me now. Morning to you, Jon.
Good morning, Steve.
Jon, now you know how to use these social media sites. You famously campaigned for Rage Against the Machine to reach number 1. So how effective is campaigning on Facebook?
Well, speaking to me, I'd say very, very effective. I mean, obviously, as you mentioned, we did a big number 1 campaign quite a few years ago now, actually. But I think nearly 10 years ago, which is incredible when you think about it.
No.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. No, I know. I still get people going, yeah, I bought that a couple of years ago, and I'm like, no, you bought it 10 years ago, actually. But thank you. You know. So, it's very effective. Using Facebook, I've also worked with the Hillsborough Justice campaign, and we managed to get a lot done with that. But there's lots you can do. It's a great tool if you want to campaign and get something done. It's brilliant for that.
That's incredible. 10 years, I still can't get over that. I mean, what are your thoughts on Facebook overall? I mean, is it a positive social media platform to use or negative? How would you describe it?
Oh, well, I think it's positive. It's a tool at the end of the day, and it's like saying, here's a hacksaw. Do you want it to cut a piece of wood in half, or would you like it to cook you dinner? A hacksaw can't cook you dinner, so therefore you're using it incorrectly. And I would say that the same with Facebook. Facebook can do some really, really brilliant stuff. And here in Essex, for example, we've got there's a lot of really good stuff going on with a lot of Facebook admins. So local admins of local community groups, for example. A lot of us are working together where we're actually doing some really good for mental health in Essex. And it's only because it's all through Facebook. That's the only medium we're using, along with Essex County Council. So there's a lot of good things that you can do with it.
How important is it? I mean, do you think, because I know certain people who say, oh no, we don't use that anymore. We do. I mean, the youngsters seem to be using Instagram more. I mean, is it a cycle, or do you think it's here to stay?
Really good question. I mean, Instagram for take-up is doing really, really well, and you do get a lot of the more youngsters that go onto Instagram, which incidentally is owned by Facebook. So a lot of the data is shared. Yeah, exactly. If you own a page, as you mentioned your Facebook page, Sadie, you can connect it directly to Instagram, and they can talk to each other. So, Facebook. Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and if you use WhatsApp, that's also Facebook as well. So, is it going to be here to stay? Yeah, I think it probably is, to be honest with you. And hey, the tools that they've provided free for everybody are pretty good at the end of the day.
You have to be careful, though, Jon, don't you? Because a cousin of ours, bless your heart, she put pictures up that she was on holiday and unfortunately got burgled, because there she was. And we sometimes forget how open it is to people to have a little look at our lives.
Well, Facebook. The story of that was on Facebook, I believe, wasn't it? That she put the pictures up. I understand.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
You can decide who sees your pictures at the end of the day. The facility on Facebook has been there for well over 10 years, where you can actually decide who sees what you put out. And I'm quite selective myself. So if I put holiday photos up, only my close friends that see it.
Right.
So not anyone else can see it. And it's just a case of really just going in and setting your own settings so that people see what you want them to see. You have that control. And I think the people don't quite understand sometimes that you can actually do that. It's like pictures of your children. If you've got pictures of your young kids, I do put them up on Facebook, but if you were to come onto my Facebook page or profile, say, you wouldn't see them. Because you've got, do you know what I mean? So
yeah, absolutely, and that's of course of course you should do. So, have you got anything you're working on at the moment on there, Jon? Have you got any campaigns going on?
I've always got something going on up my sleeve usually. Well, I sort of briefly mentioned it earlier, but I'm actually we're doing some really interesting work with Essex County Council at the moment with their health side of things, where what we're doing is, as you mentioned earlier, I sort of co-run my local Facebook community group in Southland Ferrers, and I thought, hang on a minute, if I can get in touch with some of the other people in Essex that run the Burnham on Crouch Run and Colchester, Saffron Walden, and we've got our own little Facebook group. So what we can do is we can put information out quickly. So if there's been for example, there was I think there's an incident in Harlow where a cash machine got stolen, and so within about literally 30 minutes, all the admins of the local groups knew about it, and we could post that out to our own groups, you see, and so we could get the information out nice and quick. So we're trying to make a little network here, and with Essex County Council, they've given us the funds to give free mental health first aid training, for example. All through Facebook, they've let us do that, and we're doing other little things as well. So as a project, it's a big one, and it's really interesting. And if anyone listening wants to get involved, or you want to do something, give me a shout, or go on your local Facebook group, because a lot of the admins now, we're all joined together, and we're all trying to do something good here. So it's quite a big project, and it's all to do with Essex.
Well, I thank you very much indeed, as usual, for speaking to us. Always a pleasure. Jon Morter from Southwood and Ferrers, a renowned Facebook campaigner. Thanks very much indeed for that. So how do you use Facebook?